him and you the hoe.
Yeah.
Oh my, y'all just gonna put me on the spot like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to watch episode one again. Honestly, I
But
watched it,
we
but
it's a lot. I was just telling Nikki, like, I watched it a couple times, but it's so much information that it's like, honestly, I feel like you could watch it every day for a week to just kind of be brought up to speed because it's a lot. It's going on. And I started trying to take notes and then watching it, and then I had kind of didn't have time to make notes, and then I had to get ready to come on. So I'm just gonna go ahead and what I can do. Hello, robot. That's easy. But what I can do is I'm going to put the link for anybody who is not following me or on YouTube. Here's the link. So if you don't have Netflix, you all can watch this and catch up. And they will be doing 10 episodes. So this is only the first episode. So we're going to kind of talk about this. If you guys watched it and you guys want to add something to it in the comment section, I'll keep trying to look over. And if you guys want to come in and talk, you know, we're always usually open to rotating and coming in and out of the conversation for other people to be involved. One cup of cocoa daily, hey boo. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with just the background of this story. Somebody has noise or something in their background.
it's probably
a lot of something going on.
Put the mute button on while they're not talking. There's a button down there to mute so that we won't hear all the background, and then we can focus on who's talking. And then when they get ready to talk, then they can unmute it.
I'm not talking, girl, hush. I'm not talking about your beeping. I'm hearing some other stuff. I don't know what it is. But I'm just going to go ahead and say.
Y'all hear that?
I'm gonna put mine on mute. I'm not moving around, but I'm putting mine on.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so it's just not a lot of sound for other people to yeah, you're right. It's a whole lot of layers to this stuff, Tiff. Okay, so I'm just gonna get started in kind of like the background of this documentary, and then we'll just go ahead and we're gonna talk about it. So I got a click. So if y'all hear clicking, that's just me going over here to my notes. Okay. So now the episode pretty much starts off, and they're talking about the guy named Stephen Avery. And he was the one who was actually charged with this lady's murder, whatever. And he feels like he was targeted by the police. And he was saying that, you know, he had no idea why the police and the sheriff wanted to target him. When he was younger, he got into a lot of trouble, and he was charged with burglary. He also had some friends of his, and they had abused the cat, and he had threw the cat into the fire. Now that made me not want to watch that shit, because y'all know how I feel about my Marley. Okay, I don't like abusing cats, but okay, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so another time he tried to run his cousin off the road. Now, according to him, the cousin, which is Sandra, nicknamed Sandy Morse, and Bill Morse, basically what he's saying and his family is saying is that they bullied him. And so they bullied him to the point that he tried to run her off the road. He had a gun. He didn't intend to do anything to her, but it was just to get her to basically stop lying on him, stop harassing him, because she was going to different bars talking about him and stuff like that. Now, the Avery family, they were pretty much known to be, and I don't want to be offensive when I say this, but they were pretty much like, I'll just say what people would consider to be white trash, because they had like a junkyard and stuff like that. In the area that they lived in, everybody else did farming. They made a lot of money. And the Avery family, they didn't really like communicate with people outside of their family. They had like their own little community within their family. So because they didn't have the clothes of other people, the money, or the education, they kind of pretty much did their own separate thing from everybody else. Okay, so I'm going to start there, and then I will allow you ladies to go ahead and chit chat.
Yeah, what you just said is on point. Sometimes when you move into communities, whatever the pattern, the lifestyle, and everything is already established, and they moved into that community, and they were not like normal members of the community. They just kind of like made their own and were about their own family and stuff. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes that's not good. Now, the thing I want to say about him, he was a little special, and that's fine. Special people are okay. He didn't. The thing I like about him that the fact that he did not claim that he did these things. Also, you cannot just hang out with everybody as a kid. The people you hang out with, if they do something bad, then you're gonna be guilty by association. Now the whole cat throwing it in the fire shit, that shit, that no, that's not acceptable. The police officer had a grudge and a vendetta against this person because he was different. I don't accept that. And then the fact that this man has been in prison and jail for doing things. Now, he was not perfect because I did see his ex-girlfriend do a little synopsis, and she talked about.
Oh yeah, we want to get into that
but,
too.
You know, the whole thing. Okay, I know I'm jumping ahead.
Oh no,
but I just want you to know.
I know that's right. Did your research?
I know, but make sure you have I got to make sure when you have kids that your kids understand when you say don't hang out with that person, don't do something with that person because you're gonna be guilty by association.
I will say that even though he was younger at the time or whatever, I'm not gonna blame everything he was doing on his, with his friends, because a lot of that stuff, he wanted to do it, but it doesn't help when you also around a lot of negative people, because when they start abusing the cat, he took it upon himself.
Excuse me, block that person. Thank you.
Girl, you know how I am with this block and behold.
Wow.
You.
Okay, let me still talk while I blocked him, but let me say this real quick, and this goes to anybody who might want to come on here and do their little trolling type of stuff. We are here simply for one thing, okay? Now, Trayvon Martin did not commit suicide. Now I know we're not on that, but I'm going to say it because you're not going to come up here in this chat talking about that. Now I said I was going to stick to the subject, but I'm not going to acknowledge any other trolls, okay? So when you want to come in here, you want to talk about Trayvon Martin or whatever, you can bring that over there to YouTube, and I will address you in that form, on that platform about that. But you're not going to come over here while we are talking about one thing and talk about Trayvon Martin. You're not going to do that. You're not going to.
Especially not showing your face.
And anybody else that wants to come over here and then they talking about gay and all this, I don't know what the fuck you talking about over there. But let me tell you, you either act like you got some sense or get the hell up off this blab, because we're not here for that. We're here to talk about this documentary and this documentary only. Okay? I don't have time to argue with you today. Later on tonight, I might be in the mood. So get back with me later on, but not right now.
Man, Pam, always eating something good. God damn.
Right.
I lost my focus on what I was even talking about just now with that foolishness.
We were talking about the first part of the background, land.
Yeah, I was saying that, like, I feel that
I have a point to make that I don't know if anybody else noticed. Before you even start getting into all the crimes, that cousin, you know how if you are a family who may be the outsider, you may have people in your family who resent the fact that you're an outsider. You know what I'm saying? So I feel as though that she was like, I'm going to show them. I'm going to go get with the in crowd, which is everybody in town. The sheriff was just fucking with him and all the rest of their family because they didn't like them. Why would you go and marry a sheriff if you had pure intentions? I don't know about anybody else, but I would not get involved with a group of people who had it out for my family.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right. I think she kind of did that to try to disassociate herself.
But by
Mm-hmm.
doing that, but by
I
doing
prove they
that,
not
the
all the
thing,
same.
Right. I think she
well,
kind
that
of did to
too.
try to disassociate herself from her family. And I'm not saying that that's right, but I think that was part of it to make it
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
like, to make it seem like I think she probably wanted to be not known as I mean, I don't want to keep calling it white trash family, but I feel like that's what people on the outside kind of viewed them as because they didn't have this educational. And you know, when you do farming, you're going to be making money. Okay. So the fact that they were into salvage and junk, it's like they were looked down upon. So that's one part of it right there.
Yeah, but also
The
still,
trailer park
if you
crash
think
out.
about it, that they use her as being a member of the family to gain the information to use against them anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Hold
She
on.
can't
This is what I don't
just
like. You know what I'm gonna have to do? This is what I'm gonna have to do, and it's gonna be unfortunate, but I'm just gonna ignore the comment section because it's the kind of same thing like Robert was doing the other day, where you block them and then they come back under another channel name. I mean, I would be spending the whole time.
okay, that's fine.
I mean, this is just.
That's fine.
I
But
think
I think a lot of this is crazy. What I do think is you also have to transport back in time that all this shit was happening back in the 80s. Now, I don't agree with animal cruelty, but I've also lived in the South, you know what I'm saying? And in the more country areas where animals are not seen as being anything other than something to kill. You know what I mean?
yeah, like a rodent or something of that
Yeah.
nature, not like a family
It's unfortunate
pet or
that he
whatever.
did that, but he also did serve his time for that. One thing I
Right.
noticed is that the things that he did do, he pled guilty and did his time and paid his fines. So I feel like if someone is saying, "Yeah, I did this and I'm going to pay for it," I don't think they would then say, "Oh no," especially when you start bringing in things like his IQ level and stuff like that.
Right, right. Because when I was reading that, I mean, well, not reading, but watching, they said he had a 70, his IQ was at
Yeah.
70. So he also didn't really comprehend a lot of the things that he was doing, like that he thought maybe was, I'm not making an excuse for the stuff that he was doing, but like his mind wasn't probably on the level that it should
Okay.
have been for his age.
That's just like the instance with his cousin. He just thought he was going to scare her, and then she would stop talking shit. You know what I'm saying? And
Like
everything
now,
was going to go back to normal.
speaking of the
Yeah,
cousin,
he thought he was going to. And that what he did
he
was
thought
enough
it
to make
would,
her
but it
shut up, leave
backfired
me
on him.
alone. Hey, I'm gonna pull you
Made
over.
things worse. He was trying to do it to be like, look, girl, get moving, whatever. But it actually made things worse for him because being as though she was within the outside team, the police department, let's
Right.
just say, they were able to change the reports. So they were changing a lot of the reports, minimizing the things that the cousin did, Sandy, and then making what he did even worse. So that right there was another part of the problem. Now, I'll tell you another thing about the cousin that makes me just like look at her and I'm just like, come on, really? Now, she said, okay, she said he ran her off the road. He admitted to that himself. You know what I'm saying? He said that he wasn't trying to, do any harm to her. But now when she was in court, she had filed charges. But then when they asked her in court, did she say that he jumped on the hood of her car masturbating? She said, well, no, that's not really what he did. He was at the end of the street and he was basically masturbating or doing whatever. And they're like,
But wait, she also said things like he was having sex with his wife on the front lawn in the middle of the day.
right. But then
And
when they asked her about it, she said she never saw that.
if you're married to the sheriff right?
Right.
And you saw someone having sex, regardless of whether it was your cousin or not, the cousin that you don't like, the cousin that you really have been having it out against all your life,
Right.
why would I not just say, babe, they out there doing it on the lawn, go lock his ass up? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely. And I think that was just, well, after she said that that's what happened because she did a report on it, then she turned around in court and said that that wasn't the truth, that she never said that. So to me, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the cousin is not her. I don't know what the whole issue is with the cousin, but she had a personal beef and a personal issue with him. The rest of the family have said that. But I mean, even if she wanted to make it seem believable, why would she say that her cousin was masturbating on the top of her car? Like, why would he do that? It's his cousin.
And then the way she told the story was crazy. She said she was driving down the street. I don't know what nobody else miles per hour law is, but here, depending on where you are, you going 25 to 70. So I don't know. So let's just average that out to 40, 45 miles an hour. If you're driving, Lord, at 45 miles an hour and somebody jump in front of your car to get to the hood of your car, when you have hit them, swerves, mashed your brakes, like something. So even with all of that, and then he stops and gets on the hood of your car and jack his dick, like what?
Yeah, I guess it more bothers me because it's her cousin.
I
So
think
to
she's
me, why would your cousin do that anyway?
a
Okay.
sexual deviant to try to prove the point about that rape case or something. I don't know.
Right, yeah, that could have been it. That definitely could have been it. I can hear you, Steph.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I was like, I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Loud, not loud, but I can hear you. I can hear you better than I can hear Nikki or Pam. So
Wait, do I gotta sit like this?
yes, you're better like that. Yes, you're better like that. So
You can't hear me? Am I not clear?
No, you're clear.
Am I not
You do break up from time to time, but you're fine. So, the fact that the cousin had an issue with the rest of the family, that was just like the first thing on there. Now, hold up. I'm trying to go back to my notes. Oh, the cousin did admit in court that she never liked him and that she had been speaking negatively towards him in different bars and things like that throughout the time. So, yeah.
Just like his dad said. His dad said that she never liked him.
Right.
And
I don't really know what that was. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Maybe that'll come through on another episode because I feel like they never really got into the reason why the cousin, and I'm assuming it was her husband, Bill, because they just said Sandy and Bill. They never really got into the reason why the cousin never liked him or had an issue with him, other than maybe the fact that the way that they were viewed by the town. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they want to distance themselves. I'm not for sure.
Maybe it could have been a thing of, because remember when they were saying that him and his friends had robbed the bar, right?
Right.
They didn't say him and his cousins, which means he had friends outside of their family compound. And maybe it was a thing that she could have been a part of the group that they did not associate with, so she didn't have any friends. And she could hate him for that.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. And that is a good angle to look at it because they said that they communicated within their own community. So by him having friends, maybe that was already an issue right there because he was leaving outside of their little own town and their own little world.
Were the children of the sheriff's department, which is why the sheriff's department didn't like them.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's so many question marks. There's so many
really
question marks. I just
I'm gonna have to watch
flabbergasted. I never heard it. I never heard of the story or anything like that. So when I had actually heard Big Chick talking about it, I had clicked off of her live stream to go look this show up and watch it. And the first 7 minutes, I was sitting there like,
See, I came into the tail end of the conversation. So to be honest, I had never heard about this story before, never knew anything about it. So yeah, I had never heard anything about it. So yeah, I do want to definitely credit Thick Chick Blogs because that's how I even thought to, discuss this or watch the movie. But
At first, I was talking about a
put
TV
your mic
show,
back towards your mouth.
like, or a movie. Girl, this thing. Listen, let me try this. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So I can hear y'all better with my earpieces in,
That's
but
perfect.
I don't know. It'll be alright. I just think that, like, at first I thought she was talking about a movie or something that was on TV, but then when I heard it was like for real deal, like I like stuff like 60 Minutes and all of that stuff. So I said, let me go check it out. But I was absolutely floored. Like, I do see where, as a teenager, he did make some fucked up choices, but everybody do stupid shit. You know what I'm saying?
As far as like breaking in, and it was just about stealing some quarters or some shit. So I mean, it wasn't like
$14 in quarters, 2 6-packs, and 2 cheese sandwiches.
right, yeah. It wasn't like they went and did a heist at the bank. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to make it seem like the stuff that he was doing was that bad. And I mean, should I go ahead and talk? Well, we I guess we'll get into the girlfriend thing.
Well, no, I was gonna like just move along to the part about where they really tried to get him for the rape of the Miss Bernstein.
Right.
Like that was weird. All of that was weird to me.
Well, yeah, and then the whole thing was them trying to get him. He was now later on it came out that like it was the sheriff that kept telling the DEA or whatever that you cannot mess up this case. So it was a lot of pressure amongst other people. Even the lady who was raped, she couldn't write her own report. Somebody else was writing down stuff and told her to sign it. So she really doesn't know what to sign.
Yeah, but that's what pissed me off that she got on the stand talking about it was him for sure.
I think it was her too.
Well, before you even get to the actual case, that
I
part
agree
of
to
the
you.
case, you gotta take back to the day when before she went when she was in the hospital. The lady, the deputy that was sent was the friend of the cousin who hated him,
Right.
who already didn't like him.
Oh, I didn't.
When she gave the description, you don't give a rape victim somebody's
Exactly.
name.
Yes. Because they were like, oh, that sounds like Steve Avery. It's like she's telling her story, but here you are telling her, oh, I think this is who did it.
And then show her the picture.
Strange.
And then, speaking of the picture, you took his
The whole thing was
mugshot and drew a composite sketch from his old mugshot.
That was crazy.
Not of the description that she actually gave, because she said that the description of the person was 5'6", 5'7", stocky build, long, curly hair.
Ugly
not as to what he looked like. Nothing about what he looked like. So y'all just put that up there and had created a case against him. Y'all wanted to be open and shut. But you want to know what I really thought was weird about all of that? Is that chief deputy framed the goddamn composite picture with the mug shot and hung it in his goddamn office like a trophy.
He was proud.
Yeah, proud to set him up.
what I like is the fact that he did not say that he did it. He let us know that there were other people that have done things in prison and jail, and all they had to do was say, that they did it or whatever, and they could get out.
Right, to cop a plea or whatever.
He stood by his T and his.
Right, which led him to not having no eligibility for parole.
Right. What was I gonna say? Another thing about that with I mean, like I will say, I'll give him credit, even though what he did was wrong. Everything he had did, even though this was a more serious crime, he did acknowledge that he did it. He pled guilty to everything that he had did before this came up. So it's not like he had a history of trying to cop a plea. So he was always being honest about it. Now, the artist who did the sketch, he says later on that he wasn't given the sketch or the composite to draw. Then later on, he said that he did have access to it. So I feel like that was unfair too, because if you're going to do a composite, you should be doing a drawing by what that victim is telling you, and not by what somebody else is telling you about somebody else. That part didn't make sense to me at all. So I mean, it definitely was a lot of inside shit with that.
The chief deputy has stated on stand when they asked him, when they pulled that framed stuff out and asked him, why did you do this? If you were a composite sketch drawer or sketcher or whatever, however you want to claim to put that, why would your response be, he said, I framed it because it was the first one I've ever done and it went to court.
Yes, I thought that was crazy too, because if that's what you do, that's like your living.
So if this is not what somebody does for a living, why are you doing it for this particular case that so happened to went to court?
Right. And I feel like, I don't know, because that was kind of towards the end, but I feel like in episode 2, I don't know, but I feel like that man is going to get exposed in some type of way, because I feel like he has some type of...
I feel like there's a couple people that's going to
Yes, because in this whole story, it's like everybody has a connection to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody down to the people at the hospital has a connection to this person, has a connection to the family that doesn't like him. Everybody is connected in some type of way. So I feel like that guy, he got some shit going on with him.
But also, I do feel that it is biased, though. It's a lot of.
I'm looking at the comments now.
Who up?
What you
fine, girl?
No, we're the same one who just cussed us out. I'm not looking over there. I look from every now and again to welcome somebody, but I'm not really looking, because people over there trolling and we trying to have a real conversation, and they over there talking craziness. That's why I was like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, I mean, come on, we get to talk about it. Y'all ain't here trolling in the comments or whatever.
Your Team Canada, I read your comment.
I'm gonna need somebody over there from YouTube crew to hand. Well, hold up, okay.
Okay, no, okay, your Team
I don't know these people.
That didn't happen. That didn't come out on the first episode.
Team Canada's talking some good stuff, so I gotta keep. Shout out to you, Team Canada. Your Team Canada. I keep looking over here because.
What I will say, pertaining to the nephew, when they said that when they said that Stephen Avery had a 70 IQ, I went and I looked up IQ, and they said if your family already has a history of cognitive deformity, or not being at a normal level, with each generation of kid, it goes down and goes down and goes down. Now Stephen Avery had a 70. This young man had to have an even lower one, considering the fact that the only thing I heard about the nephew so far is that he admitted to committing a crime and then thought he was going to go take his test in class. Like, okay, yeah, I committed this crime, now I'm going back to class. That doesn't make sense to anyone who has sense.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I know that this is not about this, but I'm kind of wondering, was the family members having sex with one another or something? Because the fact that they all seem to be a little slow, and then the cousin saying about on the whole, I don't know. Something just don't seem, somebody ain't pull, they ain't with a full deck. I don't know, something ain't right.
Something ain't right in the water.
Well, because it's like, even with the things that she's saying, she's making it almost seem like it's normal for a cousin to expose himself to you. So, and a lot of times, when you have people with low IQ, it's some type of incest stuff going on. They were only within the community.
She was saying that in terms to make it seem like it was okay for a cousin to expose themselves to you. I think she was saying it in terms of, oh my God, he's a fucking deviant. Look at all the crazy stuff he's doing. Do something about him. There is something wrong with him, and he needs to not.
Right about that, Team Canada.
If these are the things.
He said they were smart enough to build a business, and I'll tell you, a lot of people that lived in that area, they might have looked down. I'm sorry, I can't catch your name up at the top. It's going up, but they said, "What's up? How are you doing?" A lot of times people.
Oh, night Miss.
Oh, I can give y'all the link too. If y'all don't have Netflix, that's the link right there, and y'all can watch the thing that we're talking about. You can watch it for free. So that's the link right there in the comments that I just dropped. And he's right about that, or he or she. I'm sorry, I don't know if you're a lady or a man. I don't know. But a lot of times people look down on people who are working in junk or salvage or whatever they want to call it. But trust me, they making money. Oh, your name is Randy? Okay, Randy. Yeah, they making money. The junkyard is, listen, hey, you know the junkyard make money, and that was their own thing. It wasn't like they had 1 or 2 cars. They had a whole freaking empire. An empire, okay?
Right. But you know what? I think that the people that was already there were fam. You know how you create your own little town, and everyone there does every little thing, and this is just what we're going to do here. And although they may have looked down on them, like they said, they did have a successful business. It was just different from what they were doing. I don't think they would have had as many problems with them folks if they were farmers as well. It was something different, and they didn't like it.
You're right about that. That the people around them didn't like them, including the police, and that's absolutely correct. I think that they didn't fit into what the rest of the town considered to be the norm. So they already had an issue with them because they felt like we're going to do what we want to do. We're not going to do what y'all are doing. So I think, yeah, exactly. Because they felt like they weren't educated and they weren't smart and stuff. So I agree with that. But I feel like also, I think because it was such a small town, I think that a lot of
you want to know why they did that in Canada? Because they had their own money.
They had their own money, right? They had the street named after them.
It's just that they couldn't get away with treating them that way without them fighting back, because they had their own money to tell them to kiss my ass.
Right, absolutely.
That's what it was.
Absolutely.
He was something else.
For the father?
Yes. His attitude.
Look, Daddy said that was wrong what they done did to my boy. I don't like them.
Yeah, I said. Yeah,
he was back in the day.
And then another thing too is they were saying that how the lady was describing about the man taking his pants and all that stuff off, but they said that Stephen Avery didn't own no drawers. Okay, yeah. I'm on here for all that, but I'm just saying.
No. That's a special kind of person.
He got no drawers.
Special kind of person. Some balls.
No, but for real though, no, I just, because that's something that I'm not gonna say it bothered me, but it was just strange to me that they kept stressing, well, it couldn't have been him because he didn't own any underwear. I just didn't understand.
How about it couldn't have been him because the same pubic hairs that y'all convicted him on, not near one of them belong to him?
Exactly. I mean, I just me concerned. I don't know.
They didn't believe not one of his witnesses. That was crazy to me.
But wait a minute. Wait, exactly. Thank you for bringing that down. They had a whole timeline for the whole entire day, including receipts.
Right, because he was
out of town.
Child, see, this I ain't got time for right here. They play too much on the freaking Blab. Y'all play too much. Y'all play too much. I'm gonna make a YouTube video just for y'all on here on Blab. I said I was keeping to the document. You doing shit with cucumbers and shit. Y'all never want to be Black and not stick to the subject, but I'm sorry, over here to the right. I'm just like, okay. Okay, Nikki.
Look, let's add some more comments to move that shit up.
I gotta look over here.
Pam, I might need you to just control the.
I can do that. But but I gotta have an admin or something so I can delete and block and shit. I'll do that. I'm good for that.
Everybody was in here. Why can't everybody access to block the people in
Because
the?
you're the host. I think you can make her a co- I think you can make her a co-host.
Because I was trying to do that for you, like get in here and block and do whatever, but I don't have anything to even work on. But I'm good for that.
Okay, yeah, I don't. Yeah, see, I'm kind of new to this, but I will be figuring that out on Blab as soon as I get done, because I will not come up in here another day with this foolishness. People over here sucking cucumbers and shit to the side. Now, if that's what y'all want to do, go somewhere else with that. I'm just saying, okay? We're trying to stick to one subject. Y'all over here being very disrespectful. I don't want to have to get your IP address. I don't want to get your IP address, okay? And expose you now. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Right. Let me say something. What did you think about how that daughter looked after he after he got home, and she looked at him?
Wait, say that again.
Because he had all this here, and
well, we can't see you because you don't have.
There was a little look, and.
Oh, you talking about
your internet signal is low, so I can hear you a little bit.
I can see her.
It went low again.
I can hear her.
Okay. I feel so sad that he missed out the opportunity to really be a good father, and his daughter looked at him when in the clip, the expression on her face, the way she looked at him, like that's her dad. But, goddamn, I mean, she didn't even know him. And then he had this whole thing. And then later on, when they showed him when he had his kid on, walking down the street, haircut, I feel so bad about that part because he missed so much of his family. And his mom was there. His mom was fighting, making copies, sending to the lawyers, trying to get her boy out. I mean, it made me cry, actually, for a minute, because the fact that somebody can have a vendetta against you and just all of a sudden take your whole life, take your whole family away, basically that's what happened. So these kids grew up and they didn't have the dad. Even if they try to say he was a slow bus dad. You know what? There's a lot of slow bus people around here dysfunctional and do stuff. But that whole thing was it was ratchet, and the people in that police department is ratchet, and I just hope he gets some justice. He did do some shit. He did do some stuff, and whatever he did claim he did it. And that's one thing. That's why I know he didn't do the whole thing, but a lot of people are in jail.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of times
go ahead,
know that they are in the right in a situation. A lot of times they let shit slide because of the power this behind, the family or the authorities or whoever it is. I felt like, the police kind of felt like, who are you to challenge us? This is who we are. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of it, people are scared to step up, even when they know they're in the right, because they don't want to be like, even now after the fact, him trying to do this lawsuit, the lawyers and stuff already told him, do you know what you're getting yourself involved in? Do you know, like, you're going up against these same people who could try to pin some other shit on you?
Definitely goes to show that police corruptness did not start in our time, because, again, we're still talking about the 80s. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There was not all this technology that we have now. It was a very simple living. So,
right.
They've been getting away with controlling everything just because they are the police or they are in office in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It's been going on for a very, very, very long time. It's just now a situation where we're looking at what happened to someone who was white that was discriminated against with the police department.
Right. And the beauty of it is at least he didn't get like the electric chair, because imagine if that would have been what happened. Then they would have found out later on through the DNA that this man is dead and gone, and he didn't even do it. And there's so many people who have been executed or whatever off of some stuff, you know what I'm saying, that later on it's found out that they didn't do it. So I feel like it kind of happened in a time where he could, I guess be vindicated, but at the same time he still lost 18 years. 18 years of his life.
Is a long time.
He can't get
his daughter is sad. Well, I'm pretty sure all his children are dead. You know what I'm saying? He had a lot of kids. But the fact of the matter is, 18 years her father was gone, on top of the other years that he was gone for the other things that he done. So he's been in and out her life her entire life.
Life, right?
Although that the grandmother um did make sure that they got up to the prison, it's not like she saw her dad every day or even every month, or even every 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's like when your parent is not there, like my father been in and out of jail. When we first started having a relationship, it was strange. It was awkward. It was weird because even though I knew that was my dad, I did not know who he was as a
Right.
person.
It's still like
So I
having a
had
relationship with a stranger. Yeah. And the lady that
yeah.
he was with
So and I'm
at first, she had already had a child that wasn't his, and the father
right, his
wanted
wife.
nothing to do with it.
Oh,
Wasn't
did
that the
y'all?
daughter?
She had
Yeah,
a
yeah.
son.
No,
His
she
name
no,
was
she had a son. She had a son
what was his
first.
name?
That
Jason. Jason. I think Jason was his name. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody over here.
Oldest kid she had.
Let me
He
get
had
off.
a Team Canada. Do you
um
want to come in? Do you want to come in the room? We have an open seat if you want to. She had
no,
had a child by somebody else.
yeah, she had one kid and they got married and then they had one, two, three,
He had
four or
a daughter,
five
I
kids
believe,
together.
first, and then that's
Yeah,
when he was in jail and he had missed out like on her birth and all that stuff. But he had taken
Oh,
over
that's
the
right. That's right.
responsibility
and then
of
and then they had the twins.
Yeah.
But did y'all pay attention to what him and his wife was saying to each other in those
In the
letters?
letters? Oh,
In the
yeah.
letters. That's
Sad.
yeah. That was very, very ugly.
okay. Get
And
into the letters.
huh?
I said, get into the letters. What were they talking about? Because I don't have notes on it.
Okay, so basically, they had all these kids, and she's there with the kids while he's in jail for this rape. And she became overwhelmed, postpartum depression, your husband is gone, you on this land with his family, people saying your husband is a rapist, people making your husband out there. That's stressful. And then you got these stair step babies, and then them last ones was twins. And she was like, look, and mind you, I do not agree with this at all, but I read her word said, I'm tired of this, I'm going to kill your kid. And that's
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he was like, I hate you, I would kill you. So y'all all just telling each other y'all gonna kill each
And
other.
then he asked for a divorce.
Okay, Team
Well,
Canada, do you want to come into the chat? We have an open seat for anyone who wants to come in and not troll. I mean, y'all don't have to, but I'm just throwing it out there. We're very, we share the love. Okay, here we go, Team Canada.
all
All right now.
right, I sure will keep watching. Those letters was crazy. Those letters
Those
was
Mhm.
letters
crazy.
could probably be a book all by itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and we hey Randy.
We got Team Canada in the house over here. Let me get my thing on so I can give you some props for coming on in here, hanging out with us.
Mm.
I came on by accident. I was just looking for our radio show, another way to advertise it, and I came across this talk, and I couldn't get off. I got to go home, but I couldn't get off. I I did watch this entire thing. Like I watched one episode, and then I couldn't stop. And yeah, I cried. All kinds of things happened. It was nuts. It wasn't fair. And yeah, the letters, as you were just talking
Then
about,
Pam,
letters were
cut it out.
crazy. Huh?
Then Pam in the comments.
Listen, let me just put this out there. Men Pam. Okay, listen, you gonna have to stop flirting every time we get a man in the blab, okay? We try to keep him in here so we can stay on topic. But Randy might have a wife, okay? His wife might see this later on YouTube and get mad, okay?
She's not
Every time
jealous.
she might come in here, you flirting.
She's not the jealous type.
But however, I feel like if all of this happened in the first episode, like I said, and it's 10 years worth of investigation and background. And although I will say it is still a biased documentary because it was brought up by the defense team,
Correct.
you know, so but still, from what I see, y'all had y'all chance to try this man and y'all messed up because y'all don't have
Right.
the proof that y'all need to have. So, I mean, for anyone who's mad about the documentary, that sucks because I'm glad I saw it because it shows you the how many different levels of socio economical injustices it is, not just to African Americans, not just to low
Right.
income people. These are people who had money to do whatever they damn well please. Like Randy said earlier, they had a street named after themselves. I know my
Right.
great grandmother, she had owned a farm when she lived down south, and she had a street named after her because she had the
Right.
money to do it. It just shows you that injustice can happen to anyone. It's just
Right.
crazy, just absolutely crazy.
Well, this is
And I,
another thing that I don't want to cut forward into this, and I don't know, Randy. I don't know if you've seen this yet or whatever, but I always want to check my facts when I'm getting into a story or whatever. So now he has an ex fiance that was there to greet him and meet him, whatever, when he came out of jail. Wait, don't get into it. Are you doing me this for don't get into it?
no. I no, because I'm about to read her. That's why
Read.
that
Read.
ex fiance.
Oh, okay. I was like, who over there? Okay, so she was in the documentary. Her name is Jody. So she was in the documentary or whatever, and she was defending him in the documentary. She was hugged up, booed up, kissing. They was doing all of this, okay? So now this girl, this lady, has now went on to do interviews and everything, basically calling this man a monster, okay? Saying that she believed he killed the woman after she was on the documentary saying that he was innocent. Now, this is my thing. If she didn't get paid, she's looking to get paid or she's looking to get a book deal. This is my thing. If she lied in court to defend him and now she's saying that she's lied for him later on, then her ass needs to be locked the fuck up. Why?
Right.
Why is it that now she can feel so comfortable to say that she lied early on, but now this is the truth? She said that he beat her, punched her, did all of this stuff to her. Then she said she went to the police and they gave her a 3-day stay away order. Who the hell gets a 3-day stay away order? I ain't never heard of 3 days. I didn't heard of a year, 30 days till you get to court. But 3 days, if there was proof that he actually was beating her, that doesn't make sense.
let's even let's even take this back. When she said she met this man and she was asked when was the first time he ever did something to her, she gonna say after the first week. So you mean to tell me you done met somebody? Like I meet Randy today, and next Sunday Randy done punched me in my eye, and I'ma stay with Randy for 2 years to get my ass beat and
Right.
threatened and scared and all of this other stuff. But then, however, I can't remember nothing. But the faintest little things that come to me are only things that happened that I can remember once I was already in jail. Who said she didn't get out of jail because she started talking this damn bullshit?
That's true
If
too,
that
because she was
if
right,
that
right.
man beat her ass, then I can't speak on that. I wasn't in a relationship. It just don't make no sense to me. It just don't make no sense.
Right. I
If
know
I
you
didn't
people
even.
said
say in
this
abusive
man,
relationships, but the fact that she's coming forward now after you did the documentary, your credibility is already done for me because you done already came
Right.
and told one
listen,
story. Now you talking
listen,
some other stuff, and then said that she wasn't allowed to like talk to any of his family members, his brother Charles stuff or whatever. Selective memory. I know that's right, man. Pam. Yeah, she got a selective memory, but she trying to get that check.
award. She get the Academy Award. But yeah, I mean, all the pertinent, important information that happened in that interview, her answer was, I don't quite recall or I don't remember. Well, let me tell you something. I could tell you everything that happened in an exchange between me and anybody for as long as I remember. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The
From the day
truth.
I met them till now. You know what I'm saying? Not, oh my God, what did I say to get out? Let me see if I can remember what I told them to get me out. Now I'm out. I got to remember the story because it just don't make no
The lady
sense.
who was interviewing her was time enough for her ass, because she was kind of snickering at times, like, so you're saying, you know what I'm saying? She knew what it was, but she was just going along with the interview, you know what I'm saying? So, and then she ended up, Jody, the ex-fiance or whatever, she was the one who ended up, and she violated the stay away order. Okay, so her own probation officer told her, you stop communicating with him, you leave him alone, or your ass is going to go to jail. So that's when she took and she left out of the house. So had she had not been told that, she would still be in the house right to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nikki got kicked out, but she'll come back on. Yeah, so I mean, I can't believe nobody who changes their story just because now you and this person are not together and he burnt up your stuff, so you say.
Yeah, and has big problems trying to remember things as they're talking. That's a sure sign that, hey, what do you mean you're, like she said, what are you trying to remember? You either know what happened or have some sort of feelings or emotions.
Right, you do not have to think about it. The truth is the truth. You don't need to sit there and think. Well, let me think. Then she said another thing. She said she played her parole or probation officer some audio by his mother, but then she said she doesn't know what it said. So why did you play it to your probation officer if you don't even know what the hell it was about? It just, nothing she says makes sense. I'm looking at this lady like, lady, you about to expose yourself because you over here telling a whole bunch of fucking stories. I don't believe nothing about that lady. Okay, now hold on. Something. Okay, Nikki's coming back in. Yeah, so I mean, that whole thing with her, and she probably was sleeping with his brother. I mean, it just seems like they had a whole bunch of stuff going on there.
Yeah, Minnie Pam asked me, what would I do if I was being charged with something that I didn't do? I mean, yeah, that would be scary. Today, I live in Canada, so it's not as bad here as it was back when I was a teenager and in my 20s. It was pretty bad here then. Like, black people were second-class citizens, and there was a lot of racism that just wasn't spoken about. You just uncovered it when you ran into a situation. Then you go, holy smokes, this doesn't make sense. The prejudice. And that's the truth. So if you were to run into a situation like that, yeah, it would be scary. I have no idea what I'd do. I'd hire the best lawyers I possibly could and try to go bankrupt protecting myself.
Yeah, I think I think they were kind of outnumbered just in a lot of different aspects as far as everybody that was involved. I just think it made it almost impossible for it to be fair at any point. It was not fair, just period. Even if he was guilty, it still would have never been fair because it was too many outside sources that were involved. It shouldn't have been. It was just a lot of shit that there made me start looking at stuff like
I had even heard that 2 of the people that was on the jury was related to people in the sheriff's department. So, like, how is that fair?
Right. I think it comes down to the stuff.
Oh, this connection is acting crazy. I'm gonna try to figure out this connection and come back, okay?
All right, Pam, I'm trying to figure out how to.
The story gets a lot worse. Like I said, I mean, if you think episode 1 was bad, just wait till you get to the end. It's absolutely not, and it gets worse.
Because the end episode 1 got me. I'm like, what?
Well, you are going. If you cried in episode 1, you're in big trouble because it's going down really bad and really hard, and you just have to see it. It's crazy.
I'm already knowing because I was looking at some online and people are angry.
Yeah.
People are mad. So.
Yeah. I can definitely tell that it's gonna get worse, and I can tell by the buildup just in the first episode. Like, even though it was an hour, that's a lot of shit to talk about in an hour. Like, I literally had to watch this thing like 3 freaking times. Then I started taking notes, and then I was running late. I was like, this is a lot. So I can imagine that every episode, it's just going to get deep. Like, Yeah, I'm gonna have to give you some. Well, I got some popcorn already, but I'm gonna have to pull that out next week.
How are you watching it? How are you watching it? What are you watching it through?
Well, I have Netflix, but I had gotten a link from YouTube, so I had watched it on that. So on Netflix, do they have all 10 episodes on there right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so y'all
Yeah,
gonna do all
I'm
night
watching
tonight?
the second one. I only watched the first
I'm
one.
because as soon as we finish this, I'm going back to the episode 2 because the way it ended on episode 1, I just want to know more. I just want to, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to really do research to not really corrupt my mind, but I didn't want to have that information there. I want to see the documentary, and then I want to kind of go back to research and stuff. So I want to kind of see the documentary first, since I don't know anything about this. But it's just, it's a lot, and the fact that it took them 10 years to put this together, it's a lot.
Just wait. Yeah.
Yeah, and for anybody just coming in new, I'm also going to drop this link in here again for you all if y'all want to watch what we're talking about. That's the first episode. Yes, we're going to do a Blab, Tiffany, on the remaining episodes. I don't know how we're going to break it down. I don't think it's going to be an everyday thing because it's so much information. But maybe every couple of days or so, we're going to come back. And even though I'm hosting it today, I'm going to give somebody else the opportunity to host it the next time so that it can go on their YouTube channel. Okay, so Min Pam can host the next time. And then that way I can jump in and out if somebody else wants to come in and rotate seats and stuff, because I kind of like to let other people come in, give their little, you know what I'm saying? So I don't always want to be the one to be like, whatever. Yeah.
You just have to be careful, I think, with Min Pam posting it because her internet has been a little shaky. It'll kill her.
Yeah, well, that's what I learned the other day when we tried Blab for the first time, that a lot of people were having internet issues, and I was the only one that never really had one. I'm not for sure why, but so I definitely have to be sure.
Yeah, because the last one, my internet connection was on point. Mine was the best of all of them.
Yeah, so I don't know, but
I thought. And it is snowing here. It was snowing today.
Yeah, it's snowing here today.
So I don't know if that has anything.
So what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so then the lady that they wrote this whole little report and they had her sign it. I'm just wondering now or later on she had an issue with that, but I'm just confused. So why didn't she have an issue at the time when she knew that like she signed something that she didn't per se write herself? So later on, why did she have an issue with it when she knew? Or was she really that naive to believe that everything that they wrote or put was for her best interest? I was a little confused on that part of it. I'm like waiting for one of y'all to respond.
Me too. I was like, I don't know if they can hear me.
I mean, I don't know what she was thinking, but to me, it just seems weird that like I know things happen all the time to victims. They might get burnt, they might be beat, they might be given a testimony by blinking their eyes or waving their head or doing whatever. But it just seems weird to me that she was cool with this report being made. She signed to it. She had no problem with it, but then later on, now she's upset because those were not actually her words, but she signed the paper to it. So it just seems weird that in all these years, she never had a problem, that she didn't write this stuff, that she signed to something that she didn't say. So that was one of the things. Another guy, she asked.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, it was
she asked the police about the other guy because he had raped somebody else in that same area. So I think that they kept on basically what is the word that I want to use? It's like I think they kept on putting it in her head, like, no, this is what it is. This is what it is. And maybe when you're a victim and you're traumatized, maybe you just want closure. I don't know, but yeah. So
they brain.
Yeah.
Hey, Star, I see you came in. You want to hop in, Star?
You know, I'll go off so they can come in, and I'll just
come on, go out.
There's open seat already.
Oh, Star's driving anyway.
Oh.
Nikki, it's an open seat. You can come back in. But yeah, go ahead, Randy.
So you'll find out they actually knew who did it, and they just went after him. Period. And they already kind of knew they were. It's really sick. They were following this guy. They just so happened on that day they weren't able to track him, but that was his resting.
Yep.
That was where he hung out and did things before. And but they wanted to go after him. This situation, I am so shocked that they don't go back, because it's exposed and everybody knows now. They don't go back, arrest this guy, put the who was the sheriff at the time, now he heads the DA or whatever, put him in jail. I mean,
yes. That all of that corruption, I'm not understanding how those people are getting a free pass.
And you know
after
what?
everything that they did.
I think and I hate to do this, I think it has something to do with color, because if he was a black man, he would be in a whole heap of trouble. And let's get real here. Like,
he would.
You get in a whole heap of trouble. You wouldn't even know his name by the end of it, and they would all fry him. Somehow in the system, they have this ability that they can actually do what they want. They didn't like this guy. They didn't like the interaction he had with his wife, and then all of a sudden now he's a target, an abuse of power. And the thing is, that abuse of power, and I hate to keep relating it to other situations, but now that we have cell phones and things, we can take pictures of abuse happening in the streets, and we see it all the time. We see the prejudice happening in the United States all the time. And here was not because he was black, but just because they didn't like him.
They didn't like him. Yeah, they already had a issue. And then that brings me back to the thing too, because even now, fast forward and back to the ex-fiance or whatever, the police have her camera in custody. Mm-hmm. But yet it's still, obviously there's no evidence on the camera, because if it was, then it would be put out there. So what is all that about? So it's just this story has me just wanting to stay up for 10 days straight and just watch it all, because it's so crazy to me that this could really, I mean, I could believe, I guess it could happen in a small town, but the fact that I feel like some shit is still going on, after the fact that this lady is talking all this stuff now, that it seems like she could have been paid by the police department to say these things. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe her credit, or to get her criminal stuff taken off the record, because if you were with him, first of all, you say you never loved him. Who in their right mind is ever going to be with someone that they don't love? Okay, for a long period of time in a relationship. So that already,
to get married.
Right, and had plans to get married. So that already, to me, sounded like, okay, if you would have said you loved him, but you were dumb or blind, I would be tempted to believe you. But the fact that you want to come with that type of lie that you never loved him, girl, stop. Okay, you no. I don't know. It's the whole thing is so crazy. I cannot wait to watch the second episode, because the ending part, I was watching it again. I was 30 minutes late on this Blab, because I just kept going back and back. And it's little things that you keep missing. Yeah. I don't know if it's me, but it's I'll watch it and then I'll actually have to go back 2 or 3 minutes, because it's you literally have to focus, because you so many little key points, and then having a debate like this, Nikki brought up a lot of things that I didn't even think about. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I'm like, oh yeah, So it's the whole thing is crazy, but I do believe that other people do need to be prosecuted, especially the ex-fiance, because bitch, you lied on the stand. Now you coming forward with a new story.
Yeah, but there's so many people that would go down if that was to happen, and they're not willing to risk that. I don't believe.
People at the hospital, even the people at the hospital. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people would definitely go down with that. And I do. The one thing that I really want to know more is just why his cousin. Well, like Nikki said, it could be because he had friends, but why did she have this hatred for him? I mean, I know everybody got some family members they can't stand, but why was her hate for him so strong? It was too strong to be just because. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to deal with your family members all the time, but it's like she had this vendetta, and that's still her family. So like, why was her hatred for him so deep? Like, the Sandy and the Bill, they went the extra mile. It just,
Yeah.
I don't know. So maybe that will be revealed later on.
Well,
Jealous of him? I don't know. It just seems really weird.
yeah, you know, I'm not like, I mean, they don't get into that, but I think that it's when you're talking about people who are possibly high influence people, you know, the sheriff of the town, and like they're high influence, and then you got this really poor and not so bright set of cousins who are actually more wealthy than this high society, high influence person, has a street named after them. They have their own little town going on inside the town.
Right.
They're related. You know, there could be all kinds of little issues involved in that. And honestly, it doesn't take long before you realize that they're not the brightest. You know, they have some mental issues going on there, and they've done some really stupid things. So it wouldn't take much for him to totally piss it off and do something absolutely stupid. And obviously he has done some really dumb things, because she decided that she would tell a whole bunch of lies about him having sex and communicating himself. And then she later on admitted that she never said any of those things, but they were all things that she did say. So they were all just lies to get at him, because he is nothing. He's garbage in compared to us. So I gotta make him garbage, and so she makes up these stories. So then he gets extremely frustrated, and he basically almost runs her car off the road and pulls out a shotgun to threaten her, to say stop telling these things, because he's not very bright. This is his way of you know, putting an end to that, because he can't have a conversation to put an end to it.
Right. He thought that was going to be the way to get her to stop, but that only made things worse because of her husband and his connection with the police. So yeah, it definitely made matters a whole bunch worse. And the thing with her, this Sandy chick, I don't know her, but I don't like her. Okay, see what Sandy was planting seeds. Okay, because see, when she was in the bars and then she pretends like she doesn't remember. Well, I was in bars, but I don't know when. I don't know exactly what I said. She was planting seeds to other people, because you know how that goes. If I tell you something, you tell somebody, somebody tells somebody. So basically, she was already ruining his reputation in the town by sitting in the bar getting fucking probably pissy drunk and talking crazy. Right. So that didn't help. Yeah, so Sandy, I don't know where Sandy is, but Sandy, I'm gonna have to check into you later on, because I got my eye on Sandy. I got my eye on Sandy.
Yeah.
She done already made me mad. So as soon as I get done with this, I gotta do an expose Sandy segment, okay? Because I'm about to get into Sandy business, because she's doing a little bit too much. I don't trust her.
Right. But you know what is so sad? I mean, looking at the episode 1, because like I said, I've watched episode 1 probably 3 times, even before you brought this up. I cannot imagine being put in jail and prison behind some mess that I did not do. And I'm telling you all, I did not do it. Yeah, I might have done some other shady shit, you know, linking it to this, but I didn't do this. But this is why we need to teach our kids, first of all, how to pick good friends to be with, because you're always going to be guilty by association, always. And then, if you this, and that's why I like this story, because he ain't this, he was this, which you think, everybody's coming down on us all the time. So I really like the fact that they're exposing this about this person. Now, the thing about him, the common denomination with him is because they call it PWT, po white trash, okay? And the police officers, they probably was the uppity on the other side of town, and they're like, we're just gonna fuck with him, and whatever. And once they get somebody in the system, they got to close cases. They feel like they got to close cases and get in the news and this and that. Yeah, and that's the shit that's wrong, and that's what they do with us. That's what they do with us. And do you know, if they had not had that whole DNA stuff where they could just do this on your thing, and test your blood and test your semen and stuff, how many cases that of innocent people? We have seen so many people being released from prison and jail 30, 40, 50 years that didn't do the crime because somebody had a fucking attitude of vendetta against them. And usually it's because of this.
Also, too, I think a lot of times, and no shade against the police because we do have good police out there, but I think that they get so caught up in not wanting to be wrong. So once they get started with, okay, this is my case, this is what I'm saying it is. It's like this whole even if they realize later on, okay, I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong. It's this whole ego thing to prove my point of what I initially said, and I think a lot of that came into play too, and then the fact that they had so much influence over other people to get them to lie and go along with the story. It's just, I mean, you watched all 10 episodes, right, Randy?
Yeah.
Oh my God, where did you watch it at? On Netflix?
No, I have a little box. I don't know what it is, XBM or something like that box where I can watch any show I want, whenever I want, pretty much all the episodes. So I put on one and I couldn't stop. It wasn't.
Oh yeah, see.
I did that 10-hour sleeping on the couch thing.
Yeah, because when I started watching it, it's like I was trying to wash clothes, and then I had the laptop in my hand, and I was trying to do the clothes, and then I would go back because it's just one of those things where honestly, I would tell anybody who has not watched it. Okay, Steph. Anybody who has not watched it, you definitely want to have a free time to watch it. It's not something you want to watch while you're cooking or dealing with the kids. If you watch this, you want to be almost like nighttime, calm down time where you can just get completely into it because it's so much it's so many details into the whole story that it's like you don't want to miss anything because it's just so much that's going on. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I do not think that they were just trying to solve a case. I think that they actually targeted him for the differences in the family, and they wanted, like, the husband, the sheriff, wanted to get him for what he did to his wife. They didn't like him before, but now they absolutely hated him.
Right.
And as it goes on, you will see that as far as I'm concerned, he put his whole career on the line and many other people's career on the line to go after this guy, and somehow was able to do it. And the scary thing about it all really is that we have a jury of 12 people where you think that there would be one integral person there that would say, listen, guys, this doesn't make sense.
Right.
And if the other ones just wanted to go home, there would be one person that would really say, no, this is not happening. I'm not hanging someone just because you want to go home, right?
I'll tell you what I do believe. I think that some people maybe on the jury might have went along with it because they didn't want to be targeted next. When you're dealing with corrupt people,
it's possible.
You might not want to be the one to stand up and say, hey, this shit is not right. So maybe they just went along with the program because they didn't want to be on the hot seat to be mess with. That's what I'm thinking because, there's no way that anybody with all the facts, but then again, a lot of the facts were not facts. A lot of the facts have been changed, have been crossed out. So they were dealing with what they had been given. But honestly, it's people who do it now where they know that something is wrong, but they won't stand up and say anything because they do not want to be that person to come against a whole group. Because we're not talking about just Steve Avery. We're talking about the freaking, the police department, the people they had so many people on their side that I felt like it would take Martin Luther King, to come through and be like, I'm going to do something about this because I don't think the average person in that small town really wanted that heat to come to them if they would have disagreed with what everybody else was saying. That's just my thought. I don't know, but
no, because I thought that the whole thing didn't make sense.
Right.
So if what you're saying is true, where it looks like that would be logical, because rather than everybody just kind of giving up and saying, oh, well, I just want to go home, so I'll vote anyway, which doesn't make sense to me, because someone out of 12 people, someone's going to have integrity. But you're right. This could be a whole different level of jury tampering, because the rest of it has that whole feel to it too.
Yes, I think they knew what it was, and they did not want to be next on the chopping block. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean, who wants to come against a whole town? And I think that's so. It was just easy to say, okay, he's guilty, versus going up to question the whole situation. But I mean, I feel bad for him, but then, well, I don't want to jump too far, because I've only watched episode 1. And I've seen, I know a lot of people don't like, what's her name? They call me Nancy Drew, but what's her name? Nancy Grace. Okay, Nancy Grace.
I got a love-hate with her. That bitch will get in there. She's like a pit bulldog, and she will get in there. I just want to do her hair.
Why do you want to do her hair? She be wearing a wig. But so
I hate that stuff. I love her. I love her investigation, her questions, and her expressions. Like when she did that one with what's the Bill Cosby pudding pop breakers, Janice Dickinson, and Janice Dickinson was like, I can't breathe, I can't sleep. Like, what?
A lot of people hate Nancy Grace, but I'm telling you, Nancy Grace, one thing I like about her, she ain't no punk bitch, okay?
She not.
She's right. She not. Straight up in your face, be like, what? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight, because I'm going to have to watch the second episode, but I want y'all to watch it with me so that we can talk about it. But I mean, I know y'all got jobs and stuff, so yes, I mean, y'all let me know when y'all want to look at it again, so we can talk about it. Or I'll watch it, but I'm watching more than one time, because it's too much information, really, for my little brain to intake. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. The first time around, I was just kind of like, and then I had to watch it again, and then I kept going back, because I'm like, wait a minute, did she say she was the cousin?
Oh, God.
So it was a lot to take in all at one time. But the fact that you've seen...
But in the South, cousins are wives. In the South, cousins can be wives and husbands. Oh, okay. I'm telling too much information. We don't do that in my family, but that's what they do there.
Look, I'm going to stop saying stuff like that, because the last time I said something about people down south with the Powerball girl, they were like, we don't do that down south. I was like, well, okay, I'm sorry, but I mean, that's what it be looking like, so I don't know. Right. But the fact that Randy has watched all 10 episodes and he's kind of agreeing with what we're talking here, I kind of think that we're on the right path as far as the amount of corruption and things like that that's going on with it. I just want to get on to the next. Oh, Tiffany, you said you hate Nancy Grace. Oh, you have a love-hate with Nancy Grace. I do sometimes she's out of pocket, but love-hate, I get it. Yeah, sometimes she gets on my nerves, but when it comes to those women who be doing stuff to their kids, Nancy Grace will be playing with them. That's where my respect for her comes in. She gon' yeah, so
all right, well, let me go so I can go watch the episodes. I'm going to go.
So you just don't roll out so you can just get up on episode 2.
I'm going to go to another I'm going to go to another blog.
Okay, gotcha.
Episode 2.
I do want to say this. I work really hard. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get back on here. But I do want to say that this show, this is a great show. And I think bringing an awareness to this thing that's on TV really is going to help everyone to really understand a little bit more about what our system is, and then improve it, because we got to shed light on it, and then therefore we can then find ways to offset the bad in it. But I will say that when you finish watching all 10 episodes, you will fear the judicial system, because it defies logic for the situation to have taken place in the manner that it took place, and to know that at any time, if we happen to piss off one of these guys, that they can rain down terror and destroy your life because they can. And they set up lies, have people who will actually collude with them to set up those lies. And it's just It just really is scary. It's a scary thing. So, I'm hoping that, and I think it's a great thing. It's Shiquitath?
Chiquita, like the banana, but with an S.
I got a really simple name, Randy. But I hope that that the show helps to bring light to these kind of situations that are out there, and that we can begin to incorporate some changes, and so that this kind of scariness, the corruption within there, to me shows even bigger corruption, because that corruption couldn't happen if there wasn't higher levels of corruption there too.
Exactly. I agree.
So I think it's wonderful that you have the show, and keep it going. Good goal.
Well, when we come back for episode 2, are you going to come back and join us?
I wouldn't even know how to. I don't know anything about this thing. I just clicked on it today.
This is my second time using this. Well, third time, like sampling it out or whatever. So I just followed you on here. So we've been doing like events where we post like when we're going to talk about it again. So if you just happen to come back on here and like or follow me, you'll see us when we come back to talk about it. You a lot of
okay. I clicked.
You put a lot of perspective into it, and the fact that you have seen more of it, you know what I'm saying? You have a more understanding, which I'm this first episode, and I almost want to go back and watch the first episode over again, just based off of what Random Nikki said. It makes me think about some things that I didn't think about beforehand. So I think even with this whole episodes, it's something that people would probably even watch more than one time, because it has that much detail in it. You know what I mean? It has a lot of information.
It definitely will hook you. I think get through it, because I honestly think it just gets worse. And then when you get to the end, you're almost sick. You're drained. I was drained. I couldn't even believe it. I lost a lot of faith. I was very fortunate. I shouldn't say that fortunate, when I had followed some other things, which I won't mention because I don't want to get too controversial. I followed some other things that had really let me down about the American government and the cover-ups and things that they've done, which I never believed in conspiracy things, but this was just too blatant. And then, to watch this, I was already depressed about government, because I honestly believe that they were there to help us and guide us, and to know that our, what I would call our parents, in a sense, because they're running us, we're like their children in some ways, because we have to do what they tell us to do, and to know that they're not dealing with integrity, to me is just so scary. So so after I watched this, I was absolutely depressed, but I was able to bounce back from it, because I had experienced something like this before, which had me crying for several days, because I never knew that it existed to that degree, on such a corrupt level. And this just sort of brought it to the forefront. Brought it to the forefront more in the criminal justice system, as opposed to in the government sort of thing, which is what I had seen before. But the show, I think they kind of did the right thing, bring out the show with white people, because
exposed
because
right.
Brought that out with black people,
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
There's too many of them to actually go after like that anyways. But, you go after white people, you just prove it straight up what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I might have had to go to the States and riot if I would have saw, because enough is enough already, right?
Right.
But, yeah, I really enjoyed my time. Thank you so much. I got to run home.
It is no problem, Randy. Thank you for hanging out with us. You brought a male's perspective inside, because sometimes they might think us females are too sensitive or whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, thank you for coming in with this. So if you catch us on the next episode or whatever, hopefully you can join us.
I will. I clicked by your name there. Is that how I would be able to know that I follow?
Yeah, I think so. You should. Somebody else is joining us, and if you come in here to troll, you will get dealt with. I'm just letting you know, okay?
There he is. Fitz.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Fitz.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's up?
Nothing. I just trying to check. Do you see me now?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know about your subject, so please tell me about the discussion happened between you just to participate or get information from you. I'm just a learner of English language, trying to listen and speak with you.
Good.
So,
Okay, well, I'll tell you this, Fitz. I'm going to, this is being recorded, and I'm going to actually put this on YouTube. So you can go back and you can watch it, and you can watch the whole entire story. And the movie that we're talking about, I'm going to put it in the chat here. And so anyone who wants to watch it, that's the first episode, and that's what we're talking about. But this will be on YouTube, and so you can go back and watch it then. But I think we have pretty much summed up. I'm going to actually stop recording now. So I pretty much, we kind of finished the discussion on this episode 1 because it is a whole lot. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Min Pam. Thank you, Random Nikki. Thank you for YouTube Stephanie for coming through. And we will be watching the next episode. If I get a link for those who don't have Netflix, I'll go ahead and post that probably on my Facebook like page so that you all can follow through to the next episodes if you don't have Netflix. But I'm going to go ahead and try to catch up on okay, so also on Netflix. Okay, yeah, I have Netflix, so I know some people don't have it. In case you don't have that $7.99 membership, I've been trying to link the YouTube postings as well. So we're going to go ahead and watch the episode 2. And then, oh, your husband's addicted to it? You should tell your husband to come in next time, and you guys could probably come in and join us on the next episode, Healthy Mindset. So yeah, we're going to talk about it. I'm not for sure how long it's going to take. I don't know if they want to do this in another day or 2, but whenever we figure out a time, we're going to come back and discuss episode 2.
I do. I definitely do. I just need to be more prepared. I have to sit down and watch episode 1 over 2.
Yeah, even with episode 1, I watched it at least 2 to 3 times, but it is a lot of information to take in. It's really deep, and it is really, it just touches on a lot of things. So with each episode, I think you have to be more, like you have to pay attention more and more because it gets deeper and deeper, you know, on every single episode. So I'm going to conclude this. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to find my face.
All right.
For anybody who wants to see this Blab that we have just done, you can go here and I will post it on YouTube on my channel later on, probably tonight. I'll edit it and I'll put this up so you'll hear the whole discussion for everyone that came in. And I'll also put the link to the first episode. You can follow me on Blab, and I've been doing like an invite, so it'll tell you when we're coming back to talk about it. And also on my YouTube, I always say when we're going to come back and talk about episode 2. I might not be the one hosting it, but I will be on there. So hopefully you all can join again. And that is going to be the conclusion. And thank you all for coming by and watching this. Stay blessed, people.